Hello students, this is Sugan Chaudhary. I hope all of you are feeling safe and staying indoors. Today we will do our chapter first, Shipwreck, from our novel Robinson Crusoe of class 6. So let's start our chapter. Before starting our chapter, student, let me tell you that all the difficult words are given below in the description box, so you can write down from there. I was born in York in 1632. My father gave me good education and wanted me to be a lawyer. Here, the author is talking about himself, that he was born in New York in 1632 and his father always wanted him to be a lawyer. He advised me not to leave home and go abroad. Abroad means what? Abroad means to go foreign or I thought about his advice, but I could not give up my desire to become a sailor. What do you mean by a sailor? Sailor, a person who works on a ship, a person who sails a boat, जो एक बोट को चलाते हैं या जो काम करते हैं. कि मैंने उनकी एडवाइस कभी मानी नहीं. I thought about his advice. I have thought about it, but I couldn't give up my desire. Means I always wanted to become a sailor. I could not settle down to a business. I cannot be a businessman. So after some time, I met a friend at Hull. What is a hull? Hull is a body of a ship. Means I met some of my friend on ship one day and he was going to London in his father's ship. His friend was going to London. So I also boarded. Boarded means to get on a plane, ship or a bus, etc. So he also boarded on the ship with his friend and he had not informed his parents. Means he didn't tell his parents that he was going to London. As soon as the ship set sail, there were winds and high waves. After some time, there were very strong winds and high waves on the ship. I became seasick. I vowed to return home if ever I got my foot upon dry land and never set into a ship again. Seasick means what? Seasick, feeling sick or vomiting because of the movement of a ship or boat. किसी भी शिप में बोट में जब बहुत ज़्यादा बीमार फील करना because of the movement of the boat. I vowed. Vowed means to promise or to pledge. खुद से promise करना, वादा करना. To return home, that if he ever got foot upon dry land and he will never set into a ship again. Next day the weather will be cleared. So my friend assured me that it was not a storm. I forget the vows made in distress means he forget what he made promise the previous day. We reached Yarmouth on the 6th day. Yarmouth, it's a name of a place. So we rested and made merry. Merry means we became very happy. There was another storm after 2 days. They rested, they landed there on 6th day and again there was another storm after 2 days. I could hear the master praying softly as he went about his work. Means his master, the person who was sailing the ship, he was praying softly when he went about his work. जब वो काम पे जा रहा था, so he prayed. I had never seen such a dismal sight. Dismal sight means it was so depressing sight. It was full of sadness. Dismal means showing sadness or depressing. Means मैंने लाइफ में कभी उससे पहले इतनी डिप्रेसिंग साइट नहीं देखी थी. The sea was as high as a mountain. Means the whole scene was so distressing, or you can say the whole was so depressing कि he had never seen in his whole life the waves as high as a mountain. So the mate and the boatswain begged. Mate means the other members of on the crew or the other persons who were with the author, and the boatswain. Boatswain is what? Boatswain is the officer on a merchant ship who is responsible for the maintenance of the ship or crew. शिप और क्रू जो बाकी मेंबर्स होते हैं, जैसे कि शिप में जैसे क्रू हुआ, बाकी स्टाफ मेंबर्स हुए, उन सब पे एक ऑफिसर होता है, राइट? तो मर्चेंट शिप पे एन ऑफिसर हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द मेंटेनेंस ऑफ द शिप और क्रू इज अ बोट्समैन. सो द अदर मेंबर्स एंड द बोट्समैन बेग our master to let them cut away the foremast. He consented. The deck became clear. What is a foremast? Foremast, that is nearest in front of the sheet. Mast is what? A tall pole that supports a sail. जैसे कोई भी शिप हुई, ओके, सो उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए जैसे इस तरह से होते हैं ना बड़े बड़े मस्ट, इसको बोलते हैं मस्ट, MAST. Okay, and fore means the front one, like in this direction the ship is going, so the first pole, or you can say the front of the ship that is nearest in front of the ship, that is a foremost. So सबने request किया master को कि उसे cut कर दें. He consented. Consent means to agree to something, means he gave his permission, and the deck became clear. Deck is one of the floor of a ship or bus. बस या शिप के अंदर जो फ्लोर होता है दैट इज अ डेक. सो द स्टॉर्म कंटिन्यूड. स्टिल द हाई विंड्स और यू कैन से हाई वेव्स और स्ट्रॉन्ग विंड्स कंटिन्यूड. वी हैड a good ship, but she was so heavily loaded that the seamen cried that she would founder. We had a good ship. That ship was in very good condition, but it was so heavily loaded that the seamen, means all the persons in the ship, cried or shouted that she would founder. Founder means it would be sink, to fill with water and sink, कि वो पानी से भर जाएगी और वो डूब जाएगी, means all the seamen cried. Then one cried out that we had sprung a leak. One person shouted like we had sprung a leak. Sprung a leak means to start a leak, लीक, कि वहां पे शिप में कहीं पे लीकेज हो गया है एंड अगर उसमें पानी भर गया तो वो डूब जाएगी, इट वुड बी सिंक. सो वन पर्सन क्राइड आउट लाइक दैट. सो आई फेंटेड आउट ऑफ फेयर. फेंटेड आउट मीन्स आई ऑलमोस्ट लूजिंग कॉन्शियसनेस. मैं बिल्कुल बेहोश हो गया, फेंट, एंड आई वॉज फीलिंग वेरी वीक एट दैट टाइम. सो आई वॉज राउज्ड एंड आस्क्ड टू हेल्प पंप आउट द वाटर. राउज्ड मीन्स टू मेक समवन मोर एक्टिव. मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा एक्टिव किया लोगों को, एंड आस्क्ड, उनसे बोला, टू हेल्प पंप आउट द वाटर. पंप आउट मीन्स टू रिमूव वाटर आउट ऑफ द शिप. नेक्स्ट इज द मास्टर हैड फायर्ड अ गन एज अ सिग्नल ऑफ डिस्ट्रेस. जब भी कोई परेशानी होती है, कोई दिक्कत होती है, और व्हेन समवन इज इन डेंजर, इफ ही इज इन द बोट और शिप, देन व्हाट ही विल डू, ही विल सेंड सिग्नल्स इन द स्काई, कि वो अपने सिग्नल्स भेजता है लाइक समथिंग इज रॉन्ग देयर. सो जो मास्टर था उसने गन फायरिंग की इन द स्काई, थिंकिंग दैट शिप हैड ब्रोकन और सम ड्रीडफुल थिंग हैड हैपन. इस बारे में सोच के कि जो शिप है वो टूट गई है, हैड ब्रोकन, एंड सम ड्रीडफुल थिंग हैड हैपन. ड्रीडफुल मीन सम डेंजरस थिंग हैड हैपन. आई फेंटेड अगेन. आई बिकेम अगेन अनकॉन्शियस. अ बोट केम ओवर. Thankfully, or you can say fortunately, another boat came there and I was back in my senses by then. Means at that time he was feeling comfortable when he saw another boat. We got into their boat. After 15 minutes, we saw our ship sink. We also sighted the shore. Shore means किनारा. So हमने उसको वहाँ पे देखा. Many people helped us. Most of the people on the shore helped them. Although my reason urged me to return home. What is urge? Urge means a strong need or desire. Although I always wanted to go home, so he had a strong desire to go home, to return home, yet I had no power to do it. Means he don't want to go back to his home. My friend, the master's son, introduced me to his father. One of his friend, who was the son of the master, introduced me to his father, and his father did not like my coming on his ship, and he advised me to return home. I left him without giving him an answer. Means the author left from there and traveled to London, where I stayed for some time. Then the author stayed in London for some time. I decided not to go back home because I didn't want to be laughed at by my neighbors. Now the question arises from here, why the author didn't want to go back home because he did not want to be laughed at by his neighbors. Instead means bajaye, I went on board a ship bound for Africa. Means before also I have told you meaning of board means to get on a ship, bus, plane, whatever. So I went on board a ship bound for Africa. I had come to know the master of that ship while I was in London. जब वो लंदन में था तो वो शिप के मास्टर को जानता था, सो उसने अफ्रीका के लिए शिप के अंदर वो चला गया. He had got to like me and had offered me to free passage on his ship. Now the person who was his friend and who was the master of the ship, he offered the author to go with him. The honest captain taught me the rules of navigation. This voyage made me a sailor. I also picked up some gold dust in Africa which I sold in London. The honest captain taught me means the person or one of his friend taught him the rules of navigation. What is navigation? Like in GPS we are using in car also, the method of determining position. Okay, so his friend taught him the rules of navigation, how to find the location or position. This voyage made me a sailor. Voyage means voyage is a long journey by sea or by a plane. So this voyage made the author a sailor. I also picked up some gold dust in Africa which I sold in London. So उसने लंदन में कुछ gold dust को sell कर दिया. The profits that I earned increased my desire to go on another voyage. Now he again want to go some another voyage, another sea traveling से कहीं और जाना चाह रहे थे. Unfortunately means दुर्भाग्य से. I told you in class also, like fortunately good luck, unfortunately bad luck. The master of the ship died and his mate became the new master. Now another person who was the mate of the shipman became the new master. I decided to go for my next voyage on the same ship. So I left 200 pounds of my money with the captain's widow. जो कैप्टन था उसकी वाइफ के लिए उन्होंने, उनकी जो विडो हो गई थी, जो कैप्टन डाइड हो गया था, तो उन्होंने कुछ मनी उसे दिए, कुछ पाउंड्स उसे दिए. पाउंड्स इज व्हाट, जस्ट लाइक इन इंडिया आवर करेंसी इज रुपी. सो अलग अलग कंट्रीज के अंदर अलग अलग करेंसी है. लाइक डॉलर इज अनदर करेंसी, सिमिलरली पाउंड्स इज करेंसी. And boarded the ship. मैं ship में गया, but misfortune befell me again. Befell is a second form, past form of befall. So befell to happen to somebody means again something bad is going to happen with the author. We were attacked and taken by pirates as prisoners to sail. Means the all people who were in ship were attacked and taken by pirates. Pirates is what? A criminal who attacks शिप इन ऑर्डर टू स्टील फ्रॉम देम. किसी को जैसे चोरी करने के लिए जो समुद्री डाकू होते हैं, दैट इज पायरेट्स. सो उन्होंने अटैक किया और उन्हें प्रिजनर उन्होंने बना लिया, टू सेल, वो वहां ले गए. वेल द रेस्ट ऑफ आवर मैन वर टेकन टू द एम्परर्स कोर्ट. वो उन्हें कोर्ट में ले गए. और यू कैन से जो एम्परर का कोर्ट मतलब किंग का कोर्ट काइंड ऑफ से यू कैन से. एट दैट टाइम 17th सेंचुरी की ये बात है, तो बहुत पुरानी बात है. उस टाइम वो उसे राजा के दरबार में ले गए. आई वॉज मेड द कैप्टन्स स्लेव. स्लेव इज समवन हु इज ओन्ड बाय अनदर पर्सन. मतलब पहले टाइम में क्या होता था, किसी पर्सन को पूरी लाइफ के लिए भी जैसे नौकर बना के रख दिया जाता था. अगर आपने सुना हो तो कि पूरी लाइफ के लिए वो उसका नौकर बन के रहेगा. सो आई वॉज मेड द कैप्टन का मैं स्लेव बना. आई रिमेंबर्ड माई father's prophetic word. Prophetic words is what? It's a bhavishyavani. You can say prediction. So he remembered at that time his father's prophetic word that I would be. When my new master went to sea again, he would leave me on shore to look after his garden. ऑथर को बहुत ज़्यादा मिजरेबल, बहुत ज़्यादा पीटी फील हुआ, मतलब बहुत बुरा उसे फील हुआ, बिकॉज उसके फादर ने कहा था कि कभी भी तुम अकेले मत जाना, राइट. सो यू शुड नेवर गो द वर्ल्ड अलोन. सो व्हेन माय न्यू मास्टर वेंट टू सी अगेन, जब मेरा नया मास्टर समुद्र में गया, सी में गया दोबारा. न्यू मास्टर कौन था? जो कैप्टन जिसके वो स्लेव बने थे. ही वुड लीव मी ऑन शोर टू लुक आफ्टर हिज बी. to look after his garden. Look after मतलब देखभाल करना. उन्होंने मुझे किनारे पे छोड़ दिया उनके देखभाल करने के लिए उनके गार्डन की. I remained there for 2 years and the author remained there for 2 years. As I could catch fish easily, my master, whenever he was home, would send me sometimes with the moor to catch fish for him. कि जब भी मैं अकेला होता, so now he was trained in catching fish. So his master, whenever he was home, would send him sometimes with the moor. Moor is what? To fasten a boat to the land or to an object in the water with a rope or chain. किसी rope और chain के साथ बोट को टाई करना, कई बार लैंड के साथ, कई बार किसी पोल के साथ, ताकि वो अच्छी तरह से फिश को कैच कर सकें. सो वो कई बार उसे भेज देते थे मूर के साथ फिशेस को कैच करने के लिए. ऑन वन सच ओकेजन अ थिक फॉग मेड अस रो इनटू द सी. कई बार क्या हुआ, एक बहुत ज़्यादा थिक फॉग मीन्स जो धुंध होती है, उसने उनका रास्ता रोक लिया था. Warned by this incident, my master repaired and renovate. Renovate means किसी को दोबारा से ठीक करना. Renovate मतलब हम कई बार अपने घर को renovate करते हैं. His old ship, whenever he went out for fishing, he took me along with him. जब भी वो fishing के लिए जाता था, he always took the author with him. So students, from here we will do our part first, and our second part, the remaining chapter we will do in our second part. So if you have any doubt or any query, then you can directly comment in the comment section. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.